we make our way to the Italian Grand Prix, the home of Ferrari. This is going to be their best opportunity to get a race win in front of their home crowd. And there are a few things to mention heading into this race. First of all, Nico Kari has been injured in a Formula E crash in New York. Obviously, Nico Kari drove for Toro Rosso last season, but was unable to secure a drive this season, so decided to move to Formula E to try and get some more racing under his belt before coming back into Formula 1. However, it has been confirmed that as far as we know, Nico Kari has had a suspected broken ankle. Nico Kari was very close friends with Pierre Gasly, and as for the time being, Pierre Gasly decided to put a KAR, as in the initials for Nico Kari that he used on his car in 2017, onto his 2018 car as a form of a tribute for Nico Kari. This year, obviously, drivers do not necessarily have to put their names on their cars anymore as their initials. That was last season. However, this season they have the option to do so, and Gasly has decided to put KAR on of his car in order to tribute Nico Kari, who's been injured in that crash. It has been rumoured that Pascal Wehrlein and Esteban Ocon, the two drivers from Force India, are the favourites to replace Tom at Mercedes-Benz. We heard last race around that there is Tom will not be at Mercedes for next season, so it is obviously means that there is a big seat open for one of the drivers. At the moment, Ocon and Wehrlein are favourites to replace him, but anything can change in F1, so that is all up for grabs. Force India have now put their team on sale for this season, and it means that now many manufacturers are interested in buying them. Force India have been debating whether to put their team on sale for a long time, with so many rumours and so many different stories coming out. However, now it has been confirmed that they are on sale, and there are lots of manufacturers that are interested in getting that Force India team, buying it out and bringing their own new manufacturer in. So, who's going to buy it? We're not sure just yet. Finally, Daniel Ricciardo has been undergoing counselling due to recent events. Of course, we understand that there is a hearing for what's been going on with Ferrari and inside the team, and we're just unaware of what's going on right now. And Ricciardo has been undergoing counselling, so it shows that whatever's been happening really hasn't helped Daniel Ricciardo in the slightest and has made him very, very unhappy. So that is it for the breaking news. Let's go on into the practice pointers. Look then at the practice pointers for the Italian Grand Prix, and some massive changes. McLaren on race pace are matching Ferrari and Mercedes. We know that obviously Ferrari and Mercedes are the strongest teams in Formula 1 at this stage. However, it appears that McLaren have now got the pace to beat them. In qualifying, McLaren clearly do not have the pace to beat Ferrari and Mercedes and even their midfield teams. But in the race, their tyre strategies seem to be working in their favour, and it means that overall, they've actually got better race pace, which is going to be something to look out for. Audi are looking very strong in qualifying runs, but their race pace looks poor, which is the complete opposite to McLaren, whereas their qualifying pace looks poor. For their race pace looks good. Also, Force India are happy with Friday running and are aiming to score points here at the Italian Grand Prix. Without further ado, let's get into qualifying and the race for the Italian Grand Prix. Yo, what's going on guys? It is FoxyDude98 here. Welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today we are back with the F1 journey for the 10th round here at the Italian Grand Prix, the home of Ferrari, and of course with Ferrari being the strongest car in this season, it is going to be very difficult to beat them, and they'll definitely be the favourites to win this Grand Prix. And we're going into qualifying. As you can see, our first lap in qualifying was actually horrendous. It was a 23 flat, so many mistakes on my first lap, and you can see that we're currently down in P15 at the moment as things stand. And that's my phone going off. That's unprofessional. But anyway, moving on then to our final lap then. So as you can see, we actually go deep a little bit in towards the first corner, and we carry on our way now. But obviously, this was my best lap in qualifying, and it's actually a bit of it was probably the most surprising lap I've had in Formula 1 in general. So in towards the first sector, now you can see that we're 2 tenths clear in there, and we managed to do a nice job in that first sector. You can see that we're currently 2 tenths up on our personal best lap, but you go and see now through the Lesmos, this is where we pick up all of our time. You can see that we're now over 7 tenths up on our personal best lap, but as we come through the exit, the second Lesmo corner, you can see that we're now a second faster than our personal best time. So you can see that we definitely had an off there. You wouldn't have seen it in the video in this video, but we had a problem through the Lesmos. And as we come towards the sky, it's probably the dodgiest point. Probably took a little bit too much curbing on the inside, a little bit silly there. But you don't actually gain an advantage from taking more curbing here at Monza. It's not a nice thing to do. And as we come around towards the Parabolica now for the qualifying run here, you can see that we once again gain a little bit of time on the exit here. 1.3 seconds on 1.4 up. As we come across the start-finish line, it is actually pole position for the Italian Grand Prix. And this is what I meant by it being my most surprising lap, because I was not fastest in the first 2 sectors. It was in the final sector that we gained it all, and you can see that we're 4 100ths clear of Lewis Hamilton, and then it's Ricciardo and Verstappen, followed by Alonso, Vettel, Van Dorn, Perez, Sainz, Hartley, Rosberg, and Sioux Force Indias. So we managed to pip it in the final sector, and I was honestly expecting to probably do a 21.6, 21.7. So getting it on pole was actually something I didn't expect, in a bad qualifying there for Lando Norris, all the way down in P18. But we're on the grid now here to start the Italian Grand Prix. It's going to be a one-stop race, going on in a set of super soft tyres to start the race, and then ending on a set of medium tyres is the normal strategy. And that's what we're going to be doing here. So on the grid now for the Italian Grand Prix, we have got 5 red lights here. And it is lights out where we go here to start the Italian Grand Prix. It's been a good start from us, actually. Very, very clean getaway there. And as you can see, it's been a little bit of a scruffy getaway from my teammate Hamilton now as we go up towards turn 1 here. It's going to be 3 wide here, but Lewis comes out of nowhere there. Completely dives up towards the inside line. We still hold our position, though, in the lead here of this race. But Hamilton going for a little bit of a dive there in towards the first corner. But it's still business as usual then. It's a Mercedes 1-2. Well, it's not business as usual because we haven't actually had a Mercedes 1-2 yet this season. But we still maintain our track position on the grid as we come now in towards the first the chicane now for the first time here. That was too much curbing there. So luckily we got away with that one. And as we come now onto the end of the first lap here, you can see that we have got Lewis Hamilton under some pressure here from Max Verstappen. This is going to send the Tifosi fans wild here as in towards the first corner now. Verstappen gets into second place and gets in front of my teammate Lewis Hamilton, and now he can begin his charge on us. But further back, we've got 3 wide scenario in towards the chicane here. Ricciardo versus Alonso versus Hartley. The Jaguar driver getting up in personal with the 2 big guns here as Alonso now through the Curva Grande is now alongside Fernando Alonso and Ricciardo fighting very hard here. And I think I just said Alonso alongside Alonso, which doesn't make sense. But now in towards the chicane here, Alonso around the outside, clips the inside curb in there, gets a little bit of oversteer to get the back end out to sort of cover a bit more track position there. And in towards the Lesmos, so you can see that Fernando Alonso maintains track position, but further on now, another lap into this Grand Prix. And now, as you can see here, Daniel Ricciardo pressurizing Fernando Alonso here on lap 2, start of lap 3 here. But Brendan Hartley now coming out of complete nowhere. He's nicked a slipstream from Ricciardo. He's nicked one from Alonso as well in towards turn 1. It's 3 wide now between these cars. And as you can see, Ricciardo pinched on the inside there of turn 1, and it's hurting badly. He's now back in the slipstream of Alonso, but he's lost out to Hartley now. Hartley goes up into 4th place here. Ricciardo in a world of trouble now. He's side by side with Hartley through the Curva Grande. Alonso with a huge train behind him and in towards the chicane now. Will Hartley back down? No, he won't. Hartley gets in front, but look at that. Hartley goes through the chicane as well, and he's taken the place from Fernando Alonso. Incredible stuff from Brendan Hartley. And further up on the grid, you can see this is Verstappen now attacking myself. This is later on in the lap here. So on to the end of lap 3 now. And to start the 4th lap of this Italian Grand Prix, Hartley now has moved up a position. But as you can see, Verstappen has been closing the gap between himself and myself here. And now it's not only a fight between those lot, but Verstappen now getting very, very close to the rear of my Mercedes. And it's up to me now to make sure that I put my car in the right places. But you can see here that Alonso in the slipstream now of Brendan Hartley in the Jaguar in towards turn 1. Hartley under pressure, locks up in towards the first corner. That's going to put him out of position now. And in towards the chicane now for the first time here. Fernando Alonso now has to sit back. Hartley defends his position nicely after his small mistake there. But he was getting away though slightly from the Red Bull driver, but now he's under a lot of pressure here. Fernando Alonso is going to be in the slipstream of that Jaguar car and in towards the chicane. This is going to be a good place for him to go for it, but it's not quite yet as we move further up now towards the battle between myself and Verstappen. I'm getting a little bit wayward out of the exit of the Lesmo corners. Verstappen in prime position to go for an attack here down towards the Ascari chicane. Can he make this move stick now? Verstappen, DRS wide open, but the power of my Mercedes-Benz car set up very nicely on the straights here, and through Ascari, sparks fly there from the rear of my car. And as you can see now, we've got the Jaguar car under pressure, and through the Ascari chicane, nothing actually happened. So we're going to go a little bit forward now, just after that corner, because Fernando Alonso now fancies a little run here in towards Parabolica. He's going to go for it. Nice and early here does Fernando Alonso, and he does make that move stick. Great overtake there from Fernando Alonso, and that puts him in front of Brendan Hartley for the time being. But Hartley is fighting back. He comes at Fernando Alonso, but this is where it's going to hurt him. Hartley hasn't got DRS here, so he's just sort of trying to navigate his way through. Ricciardo is boxed in here towards turn 1. Alonso locks up Ricciardo, sticks it down the inside though, and there is Daniel Ricciardo. We know he's an overtaking master, and he goes through and gains the positions back. And he's up at the 4th place now, but Alonso with a great run here through the Curva Grande. He might just come back at the Ferrari driver, and this will be a good time to do so before Daniel Ricciardo limps off into the distance and down the inside. Alonso tries it, but now he's under pressure from Pascal Wehrlein, and Wehrlein's going to barge his way on through now. So Alonso loses 2 places, and we've got a Red Bull. That's Sainz there in the background. He's got an engine problem. Sainz is DNF from this Grand Prix, but we can't even focus on that because here comes Verstappen now with the DRS open towards the outside of Ascari, and because of that DNF for Carlos Sainz, it actually brought out a safety car, and that has helped me big time because I was about to come under serious pressure from Verstappen in towards Ascari, and this is a critical moment because all the drivers are now going to pit for their new set of tyres. We've got the safety car coming in here on lap 7. You can see it's myself ahead of Verstappen, ahead of Valtteri Bottas now in the BMW. All of the top runners have pitted to go on to a 2-stop race. I am still committing to my 1-stop race, and just like the Azerbaijan Grand Prix back round 4 or whatever that was, we're now having to basically bide our time with the safety car, but we saved plenty of fuel. And now I am chucking this car into Rich Mix, and I am now going all guns blazing. I am going to give it hell on these super soft tyres. They're going to hate me after this for now, but as you can see, that's not my concern. Bottas has a concern though, because that BMW Sauber is not quite quick enough, and now he's got Pierre Gasly coming up to the back of it now, and in towards the Parabolica they go, and Gasly goes down inside. You can see there Gasly with the initials for Nico Carey there, KAR, as you would have heard in the breaking news, of course, with that injury in Formula 2, in Formula E even for that matter, and he's there paying a little bit of tribute to him. And as now you can see here, Bottas going to fight back here against the Jaguar driver. He might just be under a little bit of pressure because here comes Lando Norris in the McLaren to try and go down the inside as well. Now Norris tries to make it stick here, 3 wide once again. So many triple overtakes here, so many 3 wide moments. It is incredible. And now Norris alongside Valtteri Bottas, but Bottas has got the straight line speed to go around the outside here. And as you can see, Bottas holds the position here against Lando Norris, but Norris will fight this one in towards the chicane. But now, as you can see, Gasly is a little bit upset that he lost that position earlier on, and Gasly comes to try and fight that one back, but Norris snubs him off very wisely there. And now, as you can see here, we ride back on board further up the field now with myself and also Max Verstappen as we go wide on the exit of the Lesmo corners, and Verstappen goes on through into the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. A mistake from myself there, just as we were watching the battle behind. But now as we go down the inside and towards Ascari, we go and claim that place back, and Verstappen backs out of it quite harshly there. I didn't think he'd back out that much, but a mistake down the exit of the Lesmos, and then towards Ascari is now here on the end of the lap. Here comes Lando Norris to attack Valtteri Bottas, and he absolutely breezes by him in that McLaren. It may not be the greatest car on the grid, but it's definitely got a decent power unit in the back of that thing, and they just need to work on the aero and chassis side of things, and they've been doing a great job of that as now as we see Valtteri Bottas under a bit of pressure here, and we've got drivers in the pits. That's Verstappen coming into the pits for a set of medium tyres there, and I'm trying to flip through because there's so much action going on the grids here. And Hamilton now, my teammate who actually pitted, and you can see there's Ricciardo as well behind all this, who goes down the inside of one of the Force Indians and now thinks of fighting Bottas as well. So Hamilton doing a fabulous job here in terms of recovery drive, that is, because Lewis Hamilton pitted under the safety car, but obviously he's had to carve his way through all of the traffic that's been put in his way, and now he's just about getting on with it here. And you can see that coming in towards the chicane now, Hamilton around the outside here of Valtteri Bottas. Great overtake there from Lewis Hamilton, and that is a great bit of driving there. You can see onto lap 13 of the Grand Prix now, we've got a 9.6 second lead over Lewis Hamilton. However, the pair of us both need to stop again for a set of tyres, or for Hamilton he needs to stop again. For me, I actually need to make a pit stop, and I decided that Max Verstappen obviously came in on lap 9, lap 10 for a set of the medium tyres. That is the bog standard one stop, and the AI programming, Verstappen decided to do that program. However, for me, I managed to make my tyres last as long as I possibly could. I was still going to do the one stop, but I didn't want to stay out for another 2 laps or so after the safety car and then pit. I knew that Bottas would be causing problems, and I knew that how many 3 wide moments into the first corner that there was because of my mini-map, I decided to stay out for as long as I possibly could. And now I'm on a set of soft tyres that will easily get to the end of the race. And as you can see, this is going to be the critical moment here. Out of the pits now, we are still in front of Max Verstappen. Only just, but we are in front of him. And with Verstappen on medium tyres and myself on a set of soft tyres, I now have tyre advantage and also tyre freshness over Verstappen, and I've got a step softer on my tyre compound, and I pitted later than Verstappen, so really we put ourselves in a solid position on the exit of the Les Mills corner though. We get a little bit out of shape, but in towards Ascari now, we're going to go for an attack on Sergio Perez here, and we're going to make this one go down the inside here on Perez. Brakes a little bit early because of the train there, and we managed to carve our way through Sergio quite nicely on the exit of the Ascari chicane now, and as you can see, that's put Sergio Perez under a lot of pressure from Verstappen behind. I've kind of made a mess of his race a little bit here, and now Verstappen here going in towards this corner now of Parabolica. Down the inside he goes. Perez actually locks up a little bit there and loses a lot of time there. But you can see for myself, I'm looking to attack one of the Audis there. But unfortunately, they all dive off into the pit, so I can't really do that. What I can do is follow onto the back of this little train here. We've got Esteban Ocon, or this might be Pascal Wehrlein actually, it is Wehrlein, attacking Nico Rosberg in the Audis. They go round in towards turn 1 for the first time here, and now in towards the second part of this first chicane here. And that is a move done and dusted there for Pascal Wehrlein, with Rosberg now trying to focus on him. But hello, here comes myself now. I fancy joining in this little fight here. I've managed to catch up to them in the slipstream and in the braking zone as well. And now in towards the second chicane here, I'm going to go down the inside here of Pascal Wehrlein. I clipped the first curb there, and actually I got a little bit wayward on the exit there. Took too much curbing on both those curbs there. Caught me out of shape a little bit there, but luckily we managed to stay in front. And now onto the end of that lap here, Nico Rosberg now is going very defensive here against Max Verstappen, but I don't think it's going to do him much justice, because in towards the first corner now you can see Verstappen is kind of just going to barge his way through a little bit there. A little bit of arms up in anger there from both drivers, but they just need to grow up really. It's been a wheel-to-wheel racing is what happens in Formula 1, and as you can see now, that is that. On to lap 16 of the Grand Prix now, and we are now finally in some clean air, and we can get on with our Grand Prix, and we're now setting some fastest laps of the race so far, with a 1:23.7 there on a fast lap, 7.6 seconds now behind Daniel Ricciardo, who is the race leader. However, Ricciardo pitted for a set of soft tyres at his stop under the safety car, definitely meaning that Ricciardo needs to stop again for another set of tyres. 6.5 seconds now the gap, and we are really clawing it down in clean air, and I've got a lot of fuel on hand, and this was actually quite a surprising Grand Prix. I honestly thought that the fuel consumption would be quite high, but it wasn't, as, oh dear, Stoffel Vandoorne's out of the race. Well, at least one man I know will be happy with that. But carrying on then, you can see that the fuel consumption, it just wasn't that high. And onto this end of this lap now, Ricciardo stops, and we're now into the lead of the Grand Prix here, and got very, very clean air. But there is one man that's under pressure, and that's Max Verstappen, because he's on a set of the medium tyres going to the end of the Grand Prix. Lando Norris, as you can see on your screens now, is in 3rd place after starting 18th. And as you can see, he's on soft tyres, and as you can now see on your screens right now, he's actually closed that gap to the Ferrari driver, and with the DRS wide open here, Lando Norris pulls over towards the inside line and breezes past the Ferrari driver of Max Verstappen, and in towards the chicane now. Lando Norris from 18th on the grid is now up into 2nd place in this Italian Grand Prix, and this has been a phenomenal drive from Lando Norris, but unfortunately for Lando, it's not going to be that easy, because Verstappen now comes back at him in towards the Ascari chicane. He's not going to let Lando just get away with this one so easily now, and barges his way through there on the exit of the Ascari chicane, and now he is back into 2nd place, and Norris has to sit back into 3rd. Unfortunately for Lando there, but luckily for Lando, he is going to have a little bit more DRS up his back pocket, and he's going to probably breeze past that Ferrari again. So Verstappen and Tifosi will be going wild once again that Verstappen has reclaimed 2nd place in this Grand Prix. But it might not be for long, because here's that DRS open. Lando Norris with the straight line speed of that McLaren coming up towards the first corner, and you can see the power that Lando Norris has got in the rear of that car. But unfortunately for him, it's not actually enough to get past Verstappen. He has to stay behind, but look at that. Hamilton and Ricciardo have now closed up to the back of this, and this is now going to be a 4-way fight for this Grand Prix, which means that only 3 of these drivers, 2 of them will claim a podium. But in towards the chicane though, speaking of that, here comes Lando Norris now into the chicane, and he barges his way past Max Verstappen there. Lovely overtake there, and he's up into second place in this Grand Prix once again for Lando Norris. And we've got a mixture of strategies as well now. We've got Lando Norris here on soft tyres. We've got Verstappen on medium tyres. I'm not sure what tyre compound Hamilton is on in this stage. Ricciardo's on super soft tyres. So they're all running different tyre strategies at the moment here. And in towards the Ascari chicane now. Hamilton is the man on the move as he now tries to go down the inside here on Max Verstappen in towards the Ascari chicane. He loses out though, gets forced wide by Verstappen. Clever move there from Verstappen, and Ricciardo makes his way through and is up into 4th place. Hamilton drops to 5th now, so Hamilton's on soft tyres. So it's Verstappen that's got the worst tyres out of anyone, but Hamilton isn't going to give that up just yet. He's going to try and fight back here down the inside of the Parabolica on Ricciardo, but he doesn't make it stick. Now once again here with some DRS open for Lewis Hamilton, he's going to come back at Daniel Ricciardo and get another fight on his hands here in towards turn 1 now. Hamilton, with that straight line speed of the Mercedes-Benz car, breezes back past the Ferrari there of Daniel Ricciardo. Mercedes really working well with this engine upgrade that they have bought, but Verstappen in the meantime has actually snuck his way back up into second place here versus Lando Norris. And once again now, Verstappen around the outside of the Curva Grande. Can he make this move stick formally on Lando Norris? Because it's not quite done yet. He's going to have to work a little bit harder. Norris looks like he's actually got a bit more straight line speed in that car around the Curva Grande. And yeah, he does. Just barges Verstappen out of the way once again. Norris, great defensive drive, and in towards Ascari now we go. Verstappen now is coming back at Lando Norris, but this time he loses out a little bit of time, and Hamilton trying to sneak his way through now. Hamilton trying to be the sneaky one. He got forced wide by Verstappen, and that caused Ricciardo to come on through. But this time around now, Hamilton wants to try and take advantage of Verstappen's misdemeanors. He doesn't quite do it on the first attempt, but on the second attempt, down the inside in fact, Lewis Hamilton now through the Parabolica corner is now going to make this one stick on Verstappen, but he's not quite got the move done yet. They're both going to get DRS deployment, and it's about who has more straight line speed and who's in the slipstream of Norris. In fact, they both are. They're now going to go 3 wide here, both going to go and attack Lando Norris in towards turn 1. Norris is going to get pinched in the middle of all of this here, and now Norris, contact is made between Norris and also Verstappen there. Hamilton now under pressure from Ricciardo. Ricciardo has to back off a little bit. It is chaotic here in this Italian Grand Prix. It is happening all up and down the grid here, and this is phenomenal to watch as Hamilton now is up into second place, but Ricciardo is not going to let that happen so easily as they come now in towards Parabolica. Lewis Hamilton now under pressure here. He's locked up though into the Parabolica. Gifts Ricciardo the position there. Ricciardo now into second place here, and Hamilton out under pressure from Norris and also from Verstappen as he's lost horrible amount of time here from that lockup, and now in towards the pit straight here. Hamilton won't have DRS because of course he was in front of Ricciardo in the detection zone. 3 wide again they go in towards the chicane now. Hamilton on the outside, he'll be pinched again, and then now Norris in the middle of all of this, and again more contact is made as they go onto the gravel here. Norris now just desperate to find a way past Verstappen now. He's just trying every ounce of it now, and on board with Lando Norris from the cockpit here. You can see now as they come up towards the chicane now, Norris in the slipstream of Verstappen. Verstappen moving over a lot in the braking zone there, but Verstappen locks up a little bit, loses some time. Norris now goes around the outside. Hamilton barges his way through. Verstappen loses out, and onto the final lap of the Grand Prix. Gasly has got a puncture as well, so he was in 5th place, I think, in this Grand Prix, or 6th place even, and he's lost all of that now. But around the final corner we come here, nice and wide on the exit of Parabolica there, and as you can see, we're going to come across the line and win a fantastic Italian Grand Prix. What a phenomenal race that was. There was so much action in this Grand Prix, and for me, that's probably the best episode I have recorded so far, but it's myself ahead of Ricciardo. Norris from 18th on the grid gets a podium in the Italian Grand Prix. Hamilton claims 4th ahead of Verstappen, and then it's Alonso, Verline, Perez, Ocon and Rosberg that round off the top 10. But let's get into the drivers and constructors standings. Taking a look then at the Drivers' Championship after the Italian Grand Prix, you can see that we're 43 points clear of Max Verstappen, who's definitely gone on a poor run of form as of late, and I've managed to just have a good run of form going with many victories in a row now, starting to really get into the hang of this Mercedes car. And Ricciardo in 3rd place, only 14 points behind Verstappen, so pretty close between them. Hamilton on 106 points. Alonso still leads the way between himself, Vettel, Sainz, Norris and Hartley. Alonso on 79 points, Vettel 69 points, Sainz 62 points. Norris on 56 points now. After his podium finish today, he manages to move himself up into 8th in the championship, and Hartley on 42 points for Jaguar. Pascal Wehrlein is on 33 points for Force India, doing a great job this season for the team. And then we've got Sergio Perez in the Williams Porsche on 23 points ahead of Stoffel Vandoorne on 18 points. Still a very long way behind Lando Norris in the McLaren. Pierre Gasly is on 14 points for Jaguar. His luck this season just isn't getting any better. Of course, he was in 6th place, I think, and then he had a puncture, and he's had multiple problems with that Jaguar this year. And then we've got Esteban Ocon in the other Force India on 10 points again, also quite a way down from his teammate. Charles Leclerc for BMW still on 7 points. Rosberg on 5 points for Audi, but the difference between Rosberg and Vettel is kind of a bit funny to look at. And then we've got Bottas on a point for BMW Sauber. Both Renaults have not scored, and neither has Giovinazzi. Finally then, the Constructors' Championship, and Ferrari are still top of the championship on 314 points. And they've pretty much been top of the championship for the entirety of this season, and pretty much for all of last season as well. No one's really gotten any closer to getting to Ferrari. However, Mercedes-Benz are on 277 points and are just 37 points behind Ferrari in the championship. Red Bull are on 141 points. Again, like I've said before, just in a little championship of their own, to be honest. And then McLaren, with a big point scoring finish today, pretty much because of Lando Norris, are on 74 points and are now tied with Audi, but have had a more podiums than Audi this year. And obviously then it is McLaren ahead of the Audi team. And then we've got Jaguar on 56 points. And then we have got Force India on 43 points now, closing up to Jaguar a little bit. And then Williams Porsche on 23 points ahead of BMW Sauber and then ahead of Renault. But guys, that is going to be it for the F1 journey for this week. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to drop it a like. Subscribe if you're new around here as well. And I'll see you guys next time for round 11. Take care all. Peace.